All right, so now we're gonna go to the multi-stick plus bar with just one. So this is a single bar routine. Okay, I'm gonna start just oscillating this back and forth. I wanna get a good rhythm here, all right, and then all I'm gonna do is go into a hip hinge, okay? And again, when you work with your students, you're gonna see a lot try to squat down to that position. All right, I wanna make sure I'm just hinging at the hips. So when I get some good activation, when I get this pulsating the right way, I'm gonna get activation of my core. I wanna maintain that, all right? So from here, I'm just gonna hip hinge over. Okay, and again, I'll do 1 or 2 reps on each of these. Now you guys can do as many as you want, but generally I only do 1 or 2. And I'm just looking for efficiency, timing, rhythm, tempo. And you're gonna be able to feel when you have a good rhythm and good force production with these. Now when I'm in this hip hinge, now I'm gonna just add some rotation. Now when I go to my trail side, I'm gonna turn this hand over. And I'm gonna do 2 kind of backswings here. And I'm maintaining my rhythm. All right, obviously when I'm doing this, I'm turned on and I feel real grounded. Okay, like I'm screwing into the ground. Okay, so that's our hip hinge with rotation. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing. We'll do it on a single leg. All right, and if we need an assist, maybe a med ball, a range bucket, something like that, that's fine to plant back here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna find a balance point on one leg here. This is turned on. All right, if I'm sloppy here, okay, I don't have a lot of stability. If that belt line starts to sag, if my belt line's good and I'm stable, I'm gonna be able to put force into this bar. From here, I'm gonna go into my hip hinge. So 1 rep. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit faster in this video than I would go with my students or with myself, just so we're not here all day. Now I'm gonna start my rotation. Okay, so I'll go hand under, and this is obviously gonna be challenging. I'm gonna try to maintain the frequency of this bar and balance on this lead leg. Okay, when we play golf, we're never 50-50. We're always dominant on one side, trail side to lead side. So what I'm doing when I'm stacking on this left side is I'm increasing force production on this lead leg, which is what we want through impact. All right, now I'll do the trail leg, same process, hip hinge. All right, and again, I'm going way faster in this video than I would normally. All right, now I'll flip this hand over. Now we'll make what would be a backswing. So really good stability on this trail leg. It's obviously gonna help you in your backswing. So we're working force production, we're working stabilization, we're working balance. And again, I flip over the hand to the side that I'm turning to. Good, so there's my hip hinges, okay? Both legs and single leg, I do 2 reps and then I'll add 2 rotations, all right? Just that alone, I'm ready to swing a golf club. Okay, now I'll go into making some backswings and really get turned on. The first thing I'm gonna do, I will move this down to one side, all right? And I'm just gonna make what I call a range of motion backswing. Shift laterally to my trail side. Okay, the mistake you're gonna see some of the people you work with make is they're gonna go this way, okay? The first move we do is a little lateral shift. Okay, we go from the lead side and put our weight into our trail side. So if we start 70-30 here, we wanna go 70-30 here. All right, and just for the purposes of this drill, a lot of you guys have a lot of different strategies and theories and principles on how to swing a golf club. I'm just telling you for movement and the purposes of this drill, we're starting on the lead side, shifting dramatically into the trail, driving this shoulder down and getting these hands high, okay? And we want this plane line, we want to over exaggerate taking these hands as high as we can. All right, now we don't want this to be this way here, but I want to avoid people flattening out this way. Let's get those hands nice and high. So I'll make about 5 of these swings, okay, 3 to 5, each rep being a little bit longer, okay? The next thing I'm gonna do is called a heave, all right? So I'm gonna forcefully throw this into the backswing. So I'll shift, throw it back, shift, throw it back. And I'm feeling like the force is coming from this right foot in the heel, and I'm digging this in the turf this way to heave this back that way. Okay, so I'm going faster than I would in a normal swing. It's almost overspeed training, so that when I want to make this controlled backswing, the force production is there, and I know what it feels like to use the ground properly in loading the golf swing. So this is a backswing heave. All right, last thing I'll do, all right, is again, I'll just kind of heave this into my backswing, and then I'm going to take this left shoulder or the left hand and try to take it to the right hand. Heave it back and stretch, and that's a lead side stretch. Just puts a little more stretch on the front side. All right, now we're going to start to really use the ground and feel what it feels like to torque the ground to create more club head speed. This first drill is called a P5, P6 pulse. All right, all I'm going to do here, this is what it looks like. Really simple. It's just kind of this squat move. And what I'm doing is I'm transitioning into my lead side, and I'm making this kick and rebound based on how much force I'm putting in with my lead leg. All right, and I'm just applying that braking force. You'll hear different terminology, braking, accelerating, but what I'm doing is I am kind of slamming the brakes, all right, and I am kind of counter rotating towards my target. All right, I'm keeping my back to the target in neutral rather than rotating open. And the mistake from a power perspective and from a golf swing perspective, a lot of your students make is they're going to get to the top and they're immediately going to rotate. And when they do that, they're going to be really steep, really over the top. All right, you know, if you're an instructor, we need to get the club down and we need to shallow it. From here, we can turn as hard as we want, and we're going to have the right face and path angle, okay? But most of our students, they get to their trail side and they never get off of it, so they get really steep and slice the ball. We need to take them from their trail side into their lead side, and we need to let them feel what that feels like, all right? If they do that properly, you're going to see that droop of this stick like that. I'm putting the brakes on here to decelerate. So I'm going to do that same thing. Now I'm pulsing it at impact, okay? And I'm stopping and kicking this forward by feeling like I take this leg and put the brakes on there like that. All right, so ground force wise, what's happening is I'm accelerating, creating speed, and a rough discussion of it, but this side is whipping back that way and this side is pushing that way. So if I were on ice, I would be slipping that way. So I want to feel like as I'm going to impact, boom, boom, I've almost got that slap shot that way, okay? Majority, 80, 70, 90% of my weight is on this lead side, and that's where I'm producing the force, all right? So we went P5, P6, we went impact, and now I'll do what I call a release pulse. So I'll be here, release, 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 and you notice my hip is wide open, and I am pushing back away from the ball, okay? Long hitters push away from the ball through impact. Short hitters drift into the ball. This is teaching us, okay, to push away from the ball and snap this out in front with a massive amount of force in the lead side. So we did the 3 pulse positions, P5, P6, impact, release. Now I'm going to do, instead of a pulse, a pump. All right, so I'm going to make this big backswing, pump. Big backswing, pump. Pump. So I'm getting on my lead side, I'm getting the club down, I'm getting my weight up and underneath me. Now I'll go to impact. Impact, pump, 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 pump. And now I'll go release. Pump, pump, pump. All right, massive amount of energy from the ground through the core, and that's why we want, again, that stable core, all right, because if our core shut off, we can't transmit energy, this thing's gonna pull me and I'm gonna fall on my face. All right, so I need to be stable here, be able to counteract that force, it's pulling me that way. Okay, I will end on my favorite, which is a drag and throw. Very dynamic movement. I'm gonna get this back here. Drag and throw up. Drag and throw. I'm coming towards you. I'm gonna get it back here off my trail foot. Little step and throw. Throw, and I'm trying to do the same thing, throwing this that way, and my lead side producing force pushing me back that way. Almost like a shot putter or a hammer thrower would go that way. So again, to create force, if I want to accelerate it this way, I want to put force in the ground to send me that way, counteracting force. I don't want to let this drag me and I follow it through my target line. All right, so we did hip hinges, we did backswing rehearsals. Okay, on those backswing rehearsals, get the question a lot, do we do both sides? It's great to do both sides. Most of the people you work with aren't gonna want to. I think the jury's still out. I would recommend you do. If you don't have time and your client's not interested enough, just do the dominant side. And if anything, do a few reps at the end, kind of rehearsing that opposite leg, right? But we did our hip hinges with rotation, we did our backswing stretches, and then we started to work that ground force. So that's the routine that we do with this single bar, okay? Should take about 5 minutes to get through all those exercises, and your student is gonna be ready to go.